Welcome to PA's Nightmare Wednesdays. As always, welcome, traveler, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant into my realm. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
I woke at 3 a.m. from the most glorious of dreams. It is time to make my dreams a reality. Walking downstairs, I opened the drawer where we kept our biggest and sharpest knives. Mommy would smack my hand if she saw her little boy playing with such a dangerous object. I think to myself as a sick smile crosses my face. The night's events I had planned will be the greatest gift my parents could ever give me. Sneaking back up to my bedroom, I made sure to bring a glass of apple juice with me. I sat down in my bed once more and spilled the apple juice on myself and in the center of the bed. After I finished this, I took a deep breath before starting to scream and cry, as I used to when I had my night terrors. They had become the sweetest of dreams. My mother came running into my room, worry covering her face as she looked at me. "What is it, sweetheart? Did you have another scary dream?" my mother says in a soothing tone. Had I not been covering my face to hide my smile, my mother would have thought something was up. But I composed myself and put a look of terror on my face. "Yes, Mommy, I had a dream. A scary man was trying to hurt you and Daddy." "We're safe, sweetie. Don't worry." She comes over and sits where the apple juice had been spilled. My mother jumped back up in shock. She removed my covers and noticed the bed and my pants were wet. "Oh no! Did you pee in the bed, sweetie? You haven't done that in such a long time." "Don't worry, you're still Mommy's big boy. Let's clean this up." My mother used a loving tone, but I could hear the annoyance in her voice. She told me to get out of bed and get myself changed while she stripped my bed. I did as she asked. When she turned her back on me, I grabbed the knife I had hid under my pillow. My mother pulled the dirty sheets off the bed as I hid the knife behind my back. As she turned around to grab the clean sheets from above my dresser, I let my smile show. Before she could recognize my smile, I pulled the knife from behind my back and sank it deep into her stomach. Her blood spilling all over my bed sheets, turning the white to a deep red. The shock on her face was priceless. She looked from her stomach to me, her mouth opening and closing like some sort of goldfish you would watch in your tank. I assumed she was trying to say something, but I think I pierced her lung. I advanced on her and stabbed her about 6 more times. By the time I was finished, I was covered in blood and her lifeless body lay on the ground. My mother has never looked so beautiful as she does right now, I think to myself. I take the last little bit of white cloth and wipe it off of the knife. No, my knife. Leaving my room, I made my way to my parents' bedroom. A sinister plan took hold. I opened the door and gently slipped into bed with my father. As expected, he thought I was Mommy. He asked me, "Is that little shit okay?" My father has never much cared for me. always calling me a monster or a freak. Well, tonight, I become what he always wanted me to be. I whispered in my father's ear, "Yes, Daddy, I am just fine." As the words left my lips, I plunged the knife deep inside of him. My father rolls over in pain, giving me the chance to get on top of him. I twist the blade to cause him even greater pain. I would enjoy this one. After all the beatings, telling me he beat the monster out of me, I am finally unleashing the monster, and it feels so good. I guess those beatings never did work, did they, Daddy? I thought to myself. As I sat on top of my father, letting the blood flow out of him, I took my time. Unlike Mommy, I wanted Daddy to suffer for all that he did to me. I took my knife across several different parts of his body. The face, neck, torso, all the cuts were deep, but never fatal. After about an hour of playing, I decided I was bored. I plunged my knife one last time into his stomach. I pulled it across his stomach, slowly creating a smile to mirror my own. I watched his intestines fall to the ground. I couldn't help but think of the piñata I had for my 11th birthday. As the thought came to me, I let out a burst of laughter. I never thought myself capable of this before. The joy, happiness, something so strange to me. I just sat there in my parents' room for hours after I was finished with my father. I was so lost in my joy that I forgot about something. My brother. Ah, yes. The favorite child. How could I forget about you? I said with so much hatred. I've wanted him to die almost as much as father. I looked at the time. It was 6:59 a.m. and he would be waking up in a minute. I am going to wait here, so when he gets up, he sees no one is awake. He will come to our parents' room and see the masterpiece I had created. So, with a sick smile on my face and covered head to toe in gore, I hid behind our parents' door. From the other side of the hallway, I hear my brother's alarm go off. The beep, beep music to my ears. As expected, he leaves his room and uses the restroom. He'll need an empty bladder to see my art after all. Once out, I can hear him calling for our parents. Mom? Dad? His voice landing on deaf ears. When he got no reply, he knocked on the door. And it slowly opened. The room was still dark, and he could not see the carnage that I created. Click went the light, and then I heard it. What I had been waiting for, his scream. I crawled up behind him and sliced his Achilles tendons. Oh, and he fell to the ground. He tried to crawl out of the room to get away from me. As I slowly approached him, my smile only widening as the look of realization came across his pathetic face. Oh, come now, brother dear. You always enjoyed it so when father beat me. Now that the shoe is on the... Oh, with your Achilles tendon sliced, you will not be wearing shoes for a very long time." He screamed and begged for mercy as I approached him and plunged my knife in him. His screams were the sweetest music to my ears. I sat there and reflected on my deeds. I have never been so at peace, but my thoughts were rudely interrupted by the sound of my front door being smashed. I could hear the cops searching the house. They came upstairs and saw me holding my knife while setting in my family's blood. They drew their weapons, training them on me. I heard them yell, "Freeze!" "Fuck it," I thought. Stood up and charged them with my knife. They fired, hitting me several times. As I left this world, I smiled, for I glimpsed already what heaven looked like. Tonight's story was written by myself, and if you enjoyed this story, chances are you will enjoy the content my good friend Ezra Reeds creates. He is a fellow horror narrator and has a fantastic narration voice. Please do check him out. His links will be down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and ring that bell for all future content.
And remember, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.